What is it you desire when you set sail on the Sea of Thieves? I mean, I understand that all of us are here to make some money so that eventually we'll be able to afford some of the sickest cosmetics available. But there's more than one way to achieve that, and a good one is by becoming an emissary. Becoming an emissary is definitely a commitment that comes with a few risks though, not the least of which is a target on your back that makes you an even more attractive vessel to sink. As such, you want to make sure that whatever faction you decide to join comes with the right benefits. While there's a whole bunch of factions that you can swear your allegiance to, realistically, there's only one correct choice here. I mean, the Order of Souls is alright, I guess. Gold hoarders can work out well if you want to make a quick buck, but who in their right mind wants to become a merchant? Honestly, just the idea insults me. Becoming a member of the Reaper's Bones, on the other hand, does not only allow you to get a fat bonus payout on anything you sell to them, you can also level up your emissary standing by sinking other ships. A faction that encourages me to take things away from other pirates rather than actually having to work for my gold? Sign me the heck up! And being able to locate other emissaries upon hitting 5th level certainly is a nice bonus. Now, you have to know that I take my job as an emissary very seriously. The moment you raise that flag, really it stops being all about you. At this point, you are a representative for your faction of choice, and that means that it's your responsibility to act accordingly. Knowing that, you probably won't be surprised to hear that when I see other Reaper emissaries engaging in the dishonorable act of avoiding combat, I begin seeing red. And surprisingly enough, that is a fairly common occurrence. Honestly, I've seen merchants fight harder for a few hundred gold worth of loot than Reapers that merely try to save their skin. Pirates like that are labeled the Runner's Bones, and it is my job to hunt them down and make sure that I can't bring shame to our glorious faction any longer. And that's exactly what today's story is about, so sit back, relax, and enjoy yourself another chapter of the Sea of Tales. Our voyage began with a simple goal: raise the Reaper Emissary Flag and bring honor to the Reaper's Bones. Of course, with this being our first time representing their organization, we, as much as anyone else, had to start at the bottom. Going out and collecting the Reaper's bounty would certainly be a great start to increase our reputation, so off we went to go and do exactly that. But we figured that there's no such thing as being too well prepared, so when we saw a bunch of cargo float on the ocean, we decided to stop by and stock up. Considering that most pirates we came across so far have been of the running variety, we didn't exactly feel worried despite us being in a very exposed position. But as fate would have it, another sloop approached us while we were looting. I mean, hey, we are sailing under the Reaper's Bones, so any combat encounter is a welcome event to us. I'm just not entirely sure that these guys realized what they were up against. While the ships were circling each other, I decided to jump into the water and wait for an opportunity to board the opposing vessel. And my patience would be rewarded. I anchored them. What? Oh. These guys, they're literally not moving. Lit. Needless to say that with enemies such as that, sinking their ship on my own would be no trouble at all. While I have had a number of PvP encounters under my belt by the time I joined the Reapers, truthfully, I have had very little experience boarding, especially on my own. So as much as these guys have not been too much of a challenge for us, it created some much needed practice for me anyway. With a warm-up out of the way, we could finally arrive at the sunken vessel that was holding the Reaper's bounty. A quick dive into the depths of the ocean would allow me to locate a number of prestigious pieces of loot that we were certain the Reapers would love to get their hands on. But as we loaded the cargo onto our ship, we felt something strange. The world is changing, new dangers there be, between boundless sky and treacherous sea. On rolling waves with sails unfurled, ships come to plunder this new world. For anyone not aware, this is what it looks like when you get server merged. A swift glance at the map showed me that we were not the only Reapers on the sea, and we also aren't the only ones about to be in the possession of a Reaper's bounty. You see, the Reaper's Bones really don't care how you get your loot, as long as you sell it to them. That means that rolling up with double the amount of bounties will grant us even more of a boost in reputation, even if it means that we have to sink another emissary to do it. Obviously, we were way too far away to beat them to the bounty, but knowing that there's only one place where you can sell it, our only choice was to try and race them to the hideout. Unfortunately, it just was not meant to be that simple, because the fellas that we sunk at the start of our voyage, yep, they were back and they were craving revenge. Of course, we had more pressing concerns than a vengeful sloop looking to get sunk again, but it would be an act of cowardice to not honor their wish for combat while sailing under the flag of the Reaper. I'll give you a hot second to guess how that PvP encounter concluded. A couple resource crates were all they had on board, but we'd be remiss to not make their possessions ours as a sign of respect for their efforts. Either way, we lost a lot of time on our race to the Reaper's hideout, so we had to hurry on up. Depending on the whims of the wind and the ocean, there might still be a chance for us to get there in time, though it was looking very unlikely at this point. I already began fantasizing about what epic encounter would await us at Reaper's hideout. This payday would be made even sweeter if we had to fight for it, and I was certain that the opposing Reaper crew would set up camp on the island to stop us if they expectedly managed to get there first. As we approached our destination, the sky darkened and the seas had gotten wilder. It was almost like the ocean was trying to set the stage for an encounter that would be remembered for years to come. But when I made my way onto the island to check for an ambush, there was nobody there. That's right, these cowards have been going for a drive-by play and sent one of their crewmates out to sell the chest while trying to create distance between our ships. I couldn't believe my eyes. Birdie told me that the map confirmed the selling of the Reaper's bounty and I spotted them sailing away from us. Playtime is over. Now it's not just about our reputation grind anymore, and heck, it definitely is not about the gold. We will not accept the presence of a runner's bones emissary in our waters, so it's time to deliver righteous justice. But naturally, this will be a lengthy process. About 10 minutes into our chase, I decided that maybe it was time for some psychological warfare. Greetings, fellow Reaper emissary. Would you like to alliance with us? Please hold thy vessel so we can alliance. Hey, I'm not one to make fake alliance offers as a matter of principle, but if that guy raises a flag for the PvP emissary without the intention of ever PvPing, then I feel like I'm justified in combating fire with fire. But of course, no response. Our chase continued as the fake Reaper steered us close to an outpost, one which was housing a sloop that began firing at us. We had no choice but to answer in kind, and it's not like we had no means of locating the fake Reaper, so it's time for a skirmish. In the water. One guy's coming on the ship. Never mind, he's not on it. He's just in the water. He's dead. He's dead. One guy dead. With the first player out of the way, all I had to do was board their ship and take out the second one. Except there was no second player to be found. And there was also no loot. And on top of that, he's scuttled. Wow. Okay, well, time to run back. Is everybody in this game a freaking coward? As frustrating as that encounter, or the lack thereof, was, what was even more annoying was the fact that the fake Reaper used the time we spent sinking that sloop to take a full turn back to Reaper's hideout. At that point, we had no idea what his intention was. Maybe he had some more loot he wanted to sell and that's why he was running? Well, whatever the case may be, justice was on its way. Though another attempt of negotiation was made.
Fellow Reaper emissary, we wish to plunder together.
Tell them that we just fought like we were defending ourselves. They attacked first.
They attacked first, we promise.
But eventually, the chase would come to an end. He's on the stationaries. He's on fire. It was time to end this fight once and for all. Come on, buddy. You can't just run away this entire time. While I gave him a stern talking to about wasting our time and then abandoning combat the moment we fought back, what I hadn't realized was that he ran back to Reaper's hideout not to make his last stand, but to sell his Emissary Flag. On top of that, when I boarded his ship and set it on fire and eventually introduced it to the bottom of the ocean, he didn't seem to be willing to protect it.
Come on, could you stop shooting for once?
Need I remind him that he was the one that shot first? You wanna talk this out or what? Your ship is on fire, dude. He pondered for a moment before deciding to go for the ultimate act of cowardice. I killed him once and he's like, can you stop firing for once? I was like, okay. Well, that's the way to end this. He scuttled. A coward and a liar, trying to get me to drop my guard to parlay just to then take a shot at me anyway. A man that does not respect his ship, sails under the flag of the Reaper while only running away and then robbing us of the ability to reclaim the Emissary Flag was a man that does not deserve my pity. But I did want to hear his reasoning.
Would you please stop and talk?
Yeah, sure, what's up?
Thank you.
While I was expecting him to explain the situation from his point of view, all that ended up happening was that he sat down and began pouting. He didn't tell us anything at all, and after all that time he stole from us by running away like a coward, I decided there was only one appropriate punishment. Execute him.
You have committed crimes against the Reaper organization.
We respect every opponent that decides to fight us head-on, but a coward like that deserves no such honor. At the end of the day, we did not manage to meaningfully increase our standing with the Reapers, and we also didn't make a lot of gold. But that chase ending up in the execution of a fake Reaper emissary, even if we didn't see any monetary gain, was built on a matter of principle. If I'm going to be a Reaper emissary, I'm going to be the best gosh dang emissary I can be. And with that goal in mind, I can't wait to sail the seas again next time. Hey, thanks for watching the second episode of the Sea of Tales. It is worth mentioning that we're not actually angry at the guy or anything, we just acted it up for content's sake. Anyone can play this game however they like, and we just so happen to enjoy PvPing. Either way, if you enjoyed this video, then do let me know by dropping me a like on your way out, consider subscribing if you want to see more, and to definitely hit that bell icon to not miss out on my next upload. I hope you guys have a day filled with riches on the sea, and until next time, peace.